Aquinas, Jesse Miller Power School.
Echo.
Beats, we having problems. I don't know, Fox, we sound like echoing.
Oh, Dr. Fox is in twice.
Oh, I didn't see that. Why you here twice? Double trouble?
No, remember I tell you I'd sign out because of the echo, and I guess I didn't sign out.
Yeah, you did that. I need to X you out now.
Episode 1.
Yeah, that's why it's doing that.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Where it's already October? What the sick? Almost November? Okay. Good afternoon, y'all. The doc is in. Ready to roll.
I'm still employed?
You gone again?
I hear.
Oh, okay.
But only you could see me.
And the nation stops to free the mind, free the mind. Take our many shows on the airwaves, but not like free your mind. Since the end of time, you won't find none like free your mind. From the ghetto to the office, hustlers, students, and college.
From the fuse to Parliament.
Oh, the freedom of the time is far apart. I got you free of mind. Every song, the real is you will find. The time is far apart. I got you free of mind. Every song, the real is you will find. It's about that time. Got free from mind. It's about that time. Got free from mind. It's about that time. Got free from mind. It's about that time. Got free from mind.
Star 106 hits. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to another Wellness Wednesday. Good to be in your company. As always, yours truly, the Natural Empress, back in position once again. And of course, today's show is powered by CFAL. Thank you to KFC. Muffler World. Thank you to Pinder Tile. Bahamas Air, and Bahamas Air wants to take you there. Where am I talking about? For all you football fans, by now you should know we will be taking you to see the Miami Dolphins take on the New England Patriots live at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. And all you got to do, this is your week, all right? If you're doing any international traveling on Bahamas Air between now and the 18th of the month, simply email your flight confirmation code to marketing@bahamasair.com and you are entered. Rules and of course and restrictions do apply. All right, I got to say a big thank you, of course, to Costrite as well, where membership definitely has its privileges. All right. Good afternoon to everybody locked and loaded. However you got here, good to be in your company. Glad you're in mine. All right. 106.5 on the FM band, channel 976 on cable. And of course, to everybody locked and loaded on Facebook, we are Star 106 and Natural Empress on Facebook. All right. So with that said, it's a Wellness Wednesday. It is October. October is deemed Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Everything pink. We rock pink for the month as we, of course, continue to sensitize the public on how important early detection is. So with that said, your favorite doctor is in the house. Of course, I want you all to welcome Dr. Nicholas Fox. Good afternoon to you, Doc.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon, Bahamas. And it's good to be back. I can't believe it's October already. It felt like we just did this show a few weeks ago.
Yeah, because the last show we spoke about colon cancer.
Right, which was a not. However, like you said, October is Pink Month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But I'd just like the public to know that even though all the hype in October is for breast cancer awareness, there are many other cancers that are also significant and should be acknowledged as well.
Well,
but for now, we'll focus on breast cancer.
I was just going to say, will they get their shine, so to speak, during the course of this month, though?
If they do, it'll be very insignificant.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, is it simply because this is the most known, or is this the one that, the medical field tends to sensitize a bit more?
Yeah, because, this campaign for breast cancer has been pushed worldwide, and worldwide everybody does the pink to do and raise money for breast cancer. So we have a lot of organizations that are strictly devoted to breast cancer awareness. But like I said, the other cancers are just as significant and should get just as much attention as breast cancer.
Good luck with that, because again, maybe I don't know if for lack of a better word, if it's not as sensationalized, then it does not get the attention.
Indeed. Indeed. And well, most of it started in America. America loves sensationalism.
Oh, so we gotta, wow. So first you gotta probably develop, there's gotta be a color, and is there a color for every one of them?
Yes, there is. There is.
There is?
Yeah, but the main color purple is for all cancers.
Ah, okay.
But
well, let's dive right in.
Each individual cancer has its own color.
Okay, well, let's dive in, because here it is. We're already almost smack dab in the middle of the month, almost, and like you said, everybody is pretty much very aware that October we shine the light on breast cancer awareness. You're in practice every day, just about. What are the numbers looking like right now?
Oh, since the pandemic, as acknowledged by the Ministry of Health, we've seen an increase in the number of breast cancer, and we've seen an increase of breast cancer in younger women. Now, that's probably due to the lack of screening during the pandemic. Also, the fear of going to a hospital or going to the doctor, and just plain negligence. We tend to be hesitant. We tend to put things off and wait until the last minute until there's pain. When it's too late, there's a lump that already has developed. And a lot of the time, when the Hamian women are diagnosed, it's either stage 3 or stage 4. So they present at a late stage where the chances of recovery or remission is greatly reduced. And they need more invasive therapy, chemotherapy, and possibly radiation.
You
Um,
clear you want to just clarify for those that you hear the terminology quite often but don't realize the fundamental difference between the three. What is the difference?
between,
You talk about chemotherapy, radiation.
oh, yeah, yeah. Um, well, chemotherapy is medication which can be given oral or IV that enters into the bloodstream to kill the cancer cells. As you know, cancer cells are rapidly dividing cells. And so the chemotherapy kills all the rapidly dividing cells, which may be some normally rapidly dividing cells, like the cells in the mouth, the cells in the stomach, but it kills the free floating cancer cells that surround the blood and helps to prevent the spread. Radiation, on the other hand, is centered at where the tumor originated, and it stops the tumor from coming back at the same place. It's not a cure, it's more of an inhibitor.
Mm.
And so that's chemo, that's radiation, and diagnosis. A lot of women, when they present, well, first of all, annual screening, having your mammogram or ultrasound if you breast advance is key to early detection. And early detection can lead to a complete cure. And so we recommend the screening, family history, genetics, all of these contribute to the rising numbers that we're seeing in the country. So
Mhm.
we advise people to get screened early. Um, Usually in the States, they advise at the age of 50. But because we have such a high prevalence of the BRCA1 gene, we advise if you have a history of that, to get a mammogram or ultrasound at the age of 30 and to start the mammograms at the age of 40 as compared to 50 in the United States.
Oh wow. As
It's
early.
interesting to note that 300 to 500 cases are diagnosed every year in this country. And 48% of those diagnosed with breast cancer are under the age of 50.
Yikes. Doc, we gotta take a
Hey,
quick break right there. Let that sink in for just a second. Folks, we're gonna find out what's happening traffic wise. Of course, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Dr. Fox is in the house. Stay tuned. More to come.
First look at traffic going home
I,
this
you,
afternoon.
you still echo, and I think I am twice again.
Yes, I see that. I'm gonna fix that right now.
Okay.
Jeez. Why Doc in twice again? Okay, so I gotta remove this one.
Sometimes it's so nice you gotta do it twice.
That's what it is? Okay, now we got you. See, now it's on now.
Yeah, better, much better.
Right. Okay, and the other one, your camera was off too. So now, yeah, all your fans could see you now. You freeze?
Obey?
Oh, okay, you good.
Now I was reading something.
Oh, I just making sure. I'm just making sure. All right.
To allow a rush out, on a late Colby Wilson. However, we've got to keep an eye on the clouds because it looks like we're in for some intense rain as well. There will be more restrictions in the downtown area starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow due to Mr. Wilson's criminal services and military parade tomorrow. This National Traffic Report is service of standard services on the corner of Shirley and Church Street, the little store with a huge inventory of home decor, children's toys, small appliances, and more. Right now, you're able to get 35% discount on Halloween costumes and decorations. Call 302-4635. That's 302-4635 for more info. We go first. I just got to look at traffic. I'm DAAA.
football season, and Bahamas Air wants you to fly and win to watch the Miami Dolphins battle the New England Patriots on October 29th at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami.
New England's got a first down in Miami territory.
To enter, you must fly on Bahamas Air on an international flight between September 1st through October 18th. Email us your flight confirmation code to marketing@bahamasair.com and you're entered.
Miami just looking for some kind of rhythm here offensively.
If you and a friend will be flying round trip with tickets to the game to see the Miami Dolphins play the New England Patriots live at the Hard Rock Stadium.
Miami takes the lead. Not exactly how it was designed, but put it on the board.
All entries must be submitted before 12 noon Wednesday, October 18th. Drawing to take place Friday, October the 20th. Other rules and restrictions apply. Fly and win with Bahamas Air.
I've been up by Pinder the other day, and I meet him setting up a display with one set of tiles, but looks polygonish. I said, Pinder, this big, funny shaped tile is one piece. Does he like him? This is my new line of hexagon tile. I named them Oxford White Hex, well, very subtle hint of pink. This one named Elephant Gray Hex, like a charcoal gray, and this one is the real black hex. These not only get character and beauty, they get strength because they're sportsy. Stop by to see the new line of durable hexagon tile at Pinder Tile.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. This is the home of today's hit music and yesterday's favorites. Star 106.5 FM.
Star 106 Hits, welcome back. Free your mind on a Wellness Wednesday. And of course, Dr. Fox is in the house. We are now day 11 of the month of October, and October is definitely deemed Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I guess this is a time where we implore our people to our ladies and gents, and I want you to shed some light on the fact that men too can also be victims of breast cancer.
Indeed, I've seen male patients with breast cancer, and unfortunately, the ones that I've seen, the outcome was really bad because most men don't believe that they can have breast cancer. They would find a lump and ignore it, and when they present, they usually have metastases to the lungs, and treatment failure, and then they die. It's unfortunate, but I always suggest to men, when you take a shower, feel your breasts, make sure there are no lumps. If you do find a lump, come, let's do an ultrasound or biopsy and see what's happening.
Okay, there's where you went wrong. We keep it real, right?
Yeah.
When you say to a male to check their breast, because anatomically, and I guess anatomically, yes, the two things on their chest are breasts, correct? But you can't tell no man to check their breasts.
Why? Because of homophobia?
More for sure. You would have to say, boy or sir, when you're taking a shower, to press on your chest. How about that? Press on your chest.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm just saying, if you want to get all right, Beats, look here. I'm gonna ask Beats, because if you talk to the average Bahamian man at that, right?
Yes.
And make them to understand that breast cancer can exist in men, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be a way to make them comfortable enough to even think about examination. So Beats, I just got to use you as a guinea for a quick second. So you go into Dr. office. Dr.
Okay.
Fox is in the house.
Okay.
And he's now saying that men too
Squat and cough.
can also, no squat and cough,
There's something else.
can have breast cancer, right?
No, man. Fire.
No, men can have breast cancer. So what do you identify those two things on your
This?
plate as?
These my pectoral muscles.
Okay, you see what I mean, Doc? Those are his pectoral muscles, but beyond the muscle, there's some fat.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit. I working on it. I doing the keto thing.
All men
work
have
it.
it though, whether they buff or not. These things right here.
Yeah. See, what I doing is me and my trainer, we doing the bulk first, and then we doing the cut. So this
Okay.
ain't gonna be here for long. This only a little
Okay,
bit.
so understand me now. men can have breast cancer. And so Doc is now saying, you come into the office, he's going to say, young man, when when you're taking your showers, the same way they instruct women, when you're taking your showers or you're laying on your back or whatever, at some point, check your breasts. If a doc was to tell you check your breasts, what's the first thing come to mind?
No, sir. What do you mean? Check my what?
Okay, Doc, speak now.
I know. Yeah. So
So we
I
have
asked them.
men who will have breast cancer because just the thought of checking quote unquote breasts, that's it for them.
I agree. That has to change though. But men do get breast cancer, and like I said, with my experience, the outcome for them is not as good because they usually present late. Again, like I said, breast cancer is the most common cause of cancer affecting women in the Bahamas, and it increases dramatically with age. However, we have so many risk factors. One being obesity. People don't like when I talk about obesity. Sedentary lifestyle, bad diet, which we have, smoking, and genetics. If you have a family history of breast cancer, or if you carry the BRCA gene, which is very common in the Bahamas, the BRCA1 and the BRCA2, these belong to a class of genes known as tumor suppressors. When functioning normally, these genes help to keep the breast, ovarian, and other types of cells from growing and dividing too rapidly, turning into cancer. But we find in this population, we have a certain mutation that causes the gene to be expressed. And Bahamians like to marry Bahamians, so we don't dilute our gene pool. So the gene now becomes more concentrated.
So wait, what do you mean? What do you mean we don't like to? So is it a matter of when you meeting somebody or getting involved with somebody that you ask these very, I guess, pertinent questions?
No, because most people don't know. I mean, you can't walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, I want to test your genes to see if you're compatible." No, but let's be sensible. Find out about family history. If you're serious, let's say you get engaged, you want to get married, or you want to get engaged. Find out all these things. It's like people with sickle cell. You have the trait. Your girlfriend have the trait. Why you're gonna have kids to suffer? But when it comes to love and stuff like that, it's very difficult to tell people what to do in terms of making sense.
You
So-
forget, we're in a culture where even when we find out we're family, it don't stop now.
Yeah, that's exactly. But getting back to this abnormal gene that we have, if you test positive for the BRCA1 gene, listen to this now. Your risk for developing breast cancer would be increased to 75 to 85%.
Yikes.
Okay? And remember that this BRCA gene is associated with other cancers, ovarian and prostate. So if your dad had prostate cancer, there's a possibility you can develop breast cancer or ovarian cancer.
Mm-hmm.
The percentage is small, but it exists. And studies have shown this to be true. So, am I saying that you should go out and be tested for the BRCA gene? No. Am I saying that if you don't have the BRCA gene, you're not going to get cancer? Of course, because there are other things that predispose you to breast cancer. Now, like I said, the best defense for this is early screening. And once you're screened and a diagnosis is confirmed, you should act immediately. Because the cancer is not going to sit there and wait and say, she ain't got no money. Let me wait till she can get some money to go to the doctor. But people feel that way. And so they wait, and the cancer continues to grow. So they may be diagnosed at stage 1, and by the time they reach the doctor, they're stage 3 with mets to the lymph nodes. And so they have to have chemotherapy now to prevent all these free-floating cells that's in the bloodstream floating around, waiting to anchor on organs to start growing cancer in a new place. So sometimes it's very difficult to get people to stay on top of their health They cry about money, they cry about things. But when you look at the alternative, breast cancer is very, for lack of a better word, debilitating. Because one, you suffer mentally, physically, your loved ones suffer, your kids suffer, you lose time from work. Some people even can't return to work. So why go through this if you can do screening measures to prevent it? And we advise people to screen early and have their mammograms. And nowadays, mammograms are not as painful because the technology has improved. So you can get a 3D mammogram with less compression, less radiation. And so it's not as bad. Or you can get an ultrasound. Once it's confirmed, then you need a biopsy to get confirmation that it is what it looks like on the diagnostics.
That's of the biopsy.
Pardon me?
Hear these terms thrown around loosely, but don't
Oh,
know what it entails.
Biopsy is when they take a piece of the tumor that they see and send it to the pathologist to look for cancer cells.
So you
Once he finds the cancer cell, then he can create and stage the cancer. And then the oncologist now, the cancer doctor, can now determine what type of treatment you need, how long you need the treatment for, and follow-up visits. But most people are deathly terrified of the word cancer. They think cancer is synonymous with death, but it's not. I'm a cancer survivor now, 10 years. I had stage 3 colon, which spread to my lymph nodes. I had extensive surgery and extensive chemo, and here I am today to do the show.
Now, you talk about stage 3, like an early detection. How is it that stage 1 and 2 did pass you by?
Well, I had no signs or symptoms, and I was following the guidelines that I don't need a colonoscopy until I'm 50, and I got it at 50, and there was the cancer. But we did not have a family history of colon cancer in my family. We had a strong history of breast, but no history of colon. So I had no reason to be suspicious that maybe I had colon cancer.
Okay. No, so asymptomatic?
No, one symptom, bleeding, rectal bleeding, and that was it.
Okay. What other signs? What other signs do colon cancer present?
Well, depending on the stage, the more advanced it is, it's going to cause obstruction because it's in a tube, and your bowel habits will change. You'll see blood in the stool. You'll start to get abdominal pain and significant and drastic weight loss, loss of energy from the anemia that you get, and just generalized fatigue.
What are the short telltale symptoms for cervical?
And cervical cancer and colon cancer is one of the most preventable cancer because if you get a pap smear, that can tell you the cells are starting to change even before they turn into cancer cells, and they can be treated and negate that. However, most women, when they present with cervical cancer, it's advanced. The most horrifying thing is the smell. You can smell them before you see them.
What?
Yeah. They have vaginal bleeding. They have dyspareunia, which is painful sex. They have lower abdominal pain. Sometimes, depending on how extensive the cancer is, they get swelling of the lower extremities, fluid retention from the compression of the blood vessels, from the enlarging tumor and lymph nodes, weight loss, and death.
Whoa. Oh, wow. See, again, like I said, we need to talk more about, other forms, other cancers than just breast. But we're going to take a quick break right here again. Of course, what can you do to prevent it? We're going to talk more with Dr. Fox when we come back.
Fried chicken, mashed potatoes with gravy, and a hot buttery.
When you say smell them before, is it a body odor?
It smells like rotten flesh.
What?
Yeah.
That's advanced stage?
Yeah. I see a lot of women with uterine cancer too, like a lot of women after uterine cancer is a disease of postmenopausal women mostly. And they go through menopause, and 5 years later, they'll come in with, "Oh, Dr. Fox, my period come back down." And I'll be like, "You're not a period of cancer." I don't say that like that. And then you do a DNC, you scrape the lining of the uterus, and you send it to the pathologist, and sure enough, it's uterine cancer. So their first thing is, I get that. I don't grind no more.
Ay! Oh, my body. I wasn't ready.
I be like, what grinding have to do
I can't.
with you getting cancer? And then you tell them they have to have extensive surgery to remove all the organs in the pelvis and the lymph nodes so it don't spread. And half of them don't want to do it. And so when they do present again, they're at stage 4, and that's when you get the smell.
So grinding seems to be synonymous to uterine cancer then.
That's what they say.
Where they get that from though?
I don't know.
All right,
We have some beliefs and myths in this country that I just find hilarious all the time.
we're going live again. Star 106 hits. Welcome back. This is Free of Mind on a Wellness Wednesday. If you are not logged into the, of course, live feed, Star 106 and Natural Empress on Facebook, you are missing the behind the scenes show. All right. But nevertheless, breast cancer awareness is where we are at. It's the month of October. Everybody pretty in pink, but there's nothing pretty about breast cancer now. Early detection is key. We get it. You often say it. Doctors always note that that's the right way to go, early detection. But do you think there's that we need to clear up that myth right now that, as you mentioned, in terms of technology, the advancement of technology, that it's not as painful? And maybe that's why, just as prostate cancer is to men in terms of screening, is to women with breast cancer, persons are afraid of the actual screening process.
Well, I find that we as Bahamians, we tend to succumb to fear very easily. And this fear is instilled in us from the naysayers and the negative people who we tend to believe more than the positive, qualified, educated professionals. So if the neighbor come and tell you, "Girl, don't go do their breast, that's gonna mess up your breast and squeeze and flatten your breast, and ain't no man gonna want you," then they're not going to.
No, Doc, seriously, that's a reason why women say they won't go, because you become unattractive after the examination.
And that's a reason why a lot of Bahamian women don't breastfeed. They always tell me, "Oh, my breast can sag and it can be ugly." Well, it can sag and be ugly anyways, so it might as well sag and be ugly for a reason. Give that child some sense in that breast milk, and you know what I mean? But we have these myths and fears, and listen to me. Jehovah could come down from above and tell these people different, and they still believe it. So you have a certain group of people who have this fear and they're never going to do it. And then you have the people, they just need a little convincing. And then you have regular people with sense who knows that this needs to be done. The pain is not permanent, it's just transient. And, it could, just 10 seconds of discomfort could save my life. And so these are the people that I try to reach and encourage to go and do early screening so we can keep the numbers down. The numbers are crazy here. So we can keep the numbers down and prevent this disease from just wiping out so many women at an early age.
And then how do we encourage men also to do screening? How hard or how?
Now with men, the biggest fear for men is the finger test. Listen, that's almost obsolete. Nobody's do that no more. You do the ultrasound on the prostate. You get a 3D ultrasound. You can see the entire prostate. You can see in the prostate. Huh?
I'm talking about breasts.
Oh, you mean breast? Well, prostate too and breast. A lot of the times when they find a lump, they'll come in. They're like, "Dr. Fox, I never had this lump before. What's going on?" So I send them for an ultrasound. Ultrasound usually recommends a biopsy. So you put a needle in it, you take some cells and you send it to the lab. If it comes back negative, then fine, you just leave it. If it comes back positive, then you send them to the oncologist. So what happens once you've been diagnosed? Then we suggest you see your family physician so he can discuss and explain to you what's going on, and then he can refer you to the oncologist. Now, when you get to the oncologist may decide, depending on the stage of the tumor, to institute chemotherapy to shrink it down and just remove the lump. That's called a lumpectomy. Or if it's extensive, they may decide to move the entire breast. That's called a mastectomy. And then you can get chemo and radiation. And then afterwards, you have to have follow-up treatment with something called a PET scan, where they inject radioactive sugar, because tumors like sugar, radioactive sugar into the blood, and any rapidly growing tumor cells is going to pick it up. So when you do the scan, it lights up. So it shows you where the cancer has spread to, how extensive the spread is, and it gives the oncologist now an idea of what type of chemo you need, how extensive you need, how long you need the chemo, et cetera, et cetera. But early detection, you avoid all of this. You avoid the grief, you avoid the stress, you avoid the pain. And one thing I can say in being diagnosed with cancer, cut the negative people from around you. They suck your energy, they suck your soul, and they cause you not to think positively and fight. Okay? Surround yourself with a support group, support people who are positive and moving forward and who are on the journey with you. Not antagonistic people who telling you their cousin or their sister died, they find a breast cancer, and 2 days later she was dead. Nobody wants to hear that. Keep that to yourself.
Oh Lord. See there? Oh, what you calling? Oh yeah, man, my uncle had that. He dead.
Yeah, not even dead. So long, you should tell he dead. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, that's sad though, but that's our people for true.
Yeah, they come with all the negative stuff and make you feel bad, and and instill fear inside you. And a lot of people give up.
You mentioned that cancers feed on sugar.
Sugar.
How is it even remotely possible for the most part for people to change their diets in the midst of all of this?
Listen to me. My first patient this morning was a woman, 5'2", 385 pounds, in a wheelchair, diabetic, blood sugar 459.
Whoa!
Heart failure, lungs full of fluid, blood pressure through the roof. She came in with her sister, and her sister said, Dr. Fox, you know why she like that? You know why she like that? She eat a whole pan of macaroni Saturday. And I'm like, why you eat a whole? Because it tastes good. I say, so you couldn't have just a slice? No, child, that don't fool me. So these people have no intentions. And then when I asked her about her diabetes, I said, how long did the doctor tell you had diabetes? She said, 10 years. I said, so are you on any medication? No, child, I ain't claiming that. So I ain't taking no medicine. But who's suffering? You in a wheelchair, can't walk, can't do nothing.
Oh, God.
Probably only have 3 months to live. And you eat a whole pan of macaroni. I mean, come on. And then so young, and have 4 children, young children, that you're going to leave behind to suffer.
Because it tastes good?
And they're selfish. They don't think about the pain they're causing other people, let alone yourself.
Under 60?
This person 48.
Oh my God. So that's what I'm saying. For the most part, a lot of people will not make it based on the fact that they are unable to, not unwilling, but unable to change their diet.
They're food addicts, and they're weak. They can't push away. Why would you eat a whole pan of macaroni? Why?
It tastes good.
I don't care.
You know what I find too with a lot of diabetics too, and I see it in my own business, where you're saying, okay, oh, you're diabetic, and they'll be quick to tell you, oh, I'm diabetic. Okay, all right, so how about we just do this smoothie using half a banana, and that would be a sweetener versus adding any agave or anything to it. No, child, I sweet mouth.
See? And then when the legs rotting off and they blind and the kidneys ain't working, they're in my office every day.
Why
I feel like, no, seriously, I'm like this. We had the crystal ball 10 years ago. I showed you this, but you chose to ignore you. Now the chickens come home to roost. So you're gonna be in this wheelchair until you die. And
not,
that's by choice.
but it's not an option. Like okay, so you like macaroni. You don't want to deprive yourself of the great taste of Bahamian macaroni. I can just taste it, just a taste.
Oh
What?
no.
No, no.
No, they want the pan. She's eat the pan. It took in 24 hours she ate a pan of macaroni.
Well, I don't get it. So there's no real will to live then.
No. They live in the moment. Bahamians like instant gratification and not delayed gratification.
So how well or how well does that work with people diagnosed with cancer then if that's the mindset?
Cancer is a bit different in terms of a lot of people realize or like
Did we lose Doc?
think cancer is the more advanced it is, the worse it is. Um, Usually the less responsive to therapy it is. So they know that if they don't act, it's going to spread, it's going to advance. So in terms of cancer, they're a little different. They might be hesitant at first, but once you explain to them what needs to be done and what's going on, they usually jumpstart into the therapy and go through the therapy. Some people, they will start therapy, it makes them sick, so they stop. Um, and those are the one who go on for to have premature deaths because you need the chemo, you need the therapy, you need the surgeries in order to make the cancer go away. It's a difficult job, and some people don't understand. I remember I had a man with stage advanced pancreatic cancer, and this man was just like skin and bones. And his family came in. I did the ultrasound, et cetera, et cetera. And they came in for the results. It was like 8 of them. And I was explaining to them, this cancer's all through him. He's grossly emaciated. This was near Christmas. I said, he doesn't have very long. So you need to make him comfortable. You'll have him for Christmas, but you won't have him after. So 4 o'clock on Boxing Day morning, the son called me and said, Dad died. When I came back to work after Christmas, the daughter came and said she needed to see me. And she come up in my face and threatened me and tell me I put mouth on her daddy and cause her daddy to die.
I mean,
And this is the type of ignorance and belligerence you have to deal with people. And it's not because she believes that, but because their guilt, they did nothing. They saw the man suffering, they did nothing. So now they need somebody to blame. They're going through grief, they feel bad. Um,
how do you
but
deal with that?
I kind of sympathize with them. I talk to them and, I tell her she's not to blame. It's nobody's fault. He's an adult too. When he started to feel sick, he should have gone to the doctor. But you can't force people to do anything. You can just tell them and they have to make the choice and the decision. And Bahamians don't like to talk about death. So I try to, when people come in with end-stage cancer and there's nothing left to do, I try to speak to them about preparing the person for death, let them participate in the planning of their funeral, let them pray, let them get the soul right, let them make amends with whoever, and prepare for the end. And child, they don't like that. They be telling me about my hip, left, right, and center. But I don't care. That's my job. Now you have some people who come back and say, Dr. Fox, thank you so much. It made the death process a lot easier. Everything was prepared. There was no hang-ups. Everything went smoothly. And people can't understand that.
This is your everyday reality.
Every day.
Wow. Wow. You know what? One day we'll do the day in the life of a fox. Yes. I
Yeah.
even like that title. The day in the life of a fox. I got this comment here as we close out. AJ says this is just like people who don't like to use protection. The only thing they're thinking about is withdrawing, and that's the only thing they're concerned about.
Well, nowadays, you don't mind if they withdraw. They don't. I have more people coming to me now for post pill for HIV protection, and I'm like, why didn't you just use a condom? But they're like, Charlotte. But you see, the invention of social media and all these porn sites, nobody using a condom, so they think that's normal.
No, they know.
Not knowing these people are tested constantly, and this is for money. This is just it's just a movie. It's just a performance, but they ensure that these participants are safe. But these people, they meet somebody at 1:00 and 1:01, they having sex.
This is just a classic case of, again, I know I shouldn't be eating this pan of macaroni, but it tastes good. So it's
Exactly.
with
Weakness.
I know
Weakness.
I should protect myself, but like the macaroni tastes good, this feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, instant gratification instead of delayed gratification.
Boy, Doc, we got plenty work to do.
I know.
Plenty work to do. So, of course, let us just, as we close out, remind folks how important in all cancers that early detection is key.
And if you feel something that's not normal, have a word with your family doctor. Let him do some tests. Let him examine you, and see what's going on. It may be nothing, as well as it may be something. And if you catch it early enough, then you can have complete cure and long-term survival. And that's why we're here. We're here to make your life better and easier. But sometimes you just have to listen to what the doctor says and do what has to be done, without fear, without hesitancy, and with confidence, so that you can be diagnosed and treated in an appropriate, timely manner.
All right, so there you have it, folks. Early detection is definitely key. We're gonna, of course, we'll see Doc soon again. But in the meantime, you know what to do. Keep it locked. Top of the hour, 5:00 here. Drive at 5 with yours truly, and DJ AI comes your way.
You remember them hexagonal shake tile I was telling you about the other day?
Folks, y'all know where to find Dr. Fox. Collins Avenue is the spot next to Frank Hanna building there. 325-1649 is the number to call. And you do all screening, right? Well, they come to see you, and then of course you refer them for screenings, correct?
Yes, indeed.
So there you have it. Boy, let me read this one before you go. Is there any early detection for lung cancer?
Just doing blood tests and then an X-ray. Usually picks up a small lump in the chest. But lung cancer is associated with certain things. So if you don't participate in that type of behavior, then the chances of having lung cancer is greatly decreased. But for people who smoke and people who are exposed to certain chemicals, etc., we know that they have a high predisposition for lung cancer. So you can do blood test markers, X-rays. If you find a lesion in the lungs, you can do a biopsy. And the advancement for the treatment of lung cancer has progressed so much until people are living so much longer with lung cancer. Not like before where it was a certain death sentence. Now people are living so much longer. Yeah.
What does it do to you when somebody comes in and has something going on and has a very nonchalance about what it is they're diagnosed with? Like, does it make you feel defeated? Like, what the hell are you even talking to this person for if they're going to do otherwise?
No, I understand. see, you have to, and I guess years of experiences has taught me this. I get to put myself in their shoe and understand the fear that they're going through. And depending on their education level, their lack of ability to understand what's going on with them. So you've been here before. I like to draw on the bed and break it down as low as I could. So the person can now understand. And then what I do is at the end, I instill the fear of God in them that if they don't get this sorted out, what's going to happen? And that usually convinces them to do what they need to do. A lot of people when they walk in the doctor's office, the first thing they feel intimidated, they feel inferior because of the intelligence and the education. So you have to knock that down. You have to come down to their level. You have to make them feel comfortable and they have to trust you. And that requires a skill. I'd say only 10% of doctors in Nassau could do that. That requires a skill, and it doesn't require arrogance and lofty feelings. You have to come down because these people are terrified. You have to come down to their level. You have to break the ice. You have to talk to them and get them now to feel comfortable so that they can explain to you what they're feeling. So you can now work with them at their level, make them understand so they can do what is right. But a lot of times they come back once it's done and they thank you and it's like, Doc, you explained that to me and now I understand, blah, 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 blah. And that's the thanks you get. That's the good feeling you get from this profession.
What about those that don't understand, those that want to beat you up because your words are so powerful? You caused Daddy to croak.
Yeah, and like I said, I diffused her. This was all her guilt because she hadn't seen her daddy in how many years and she wasn't checking on him. Once you probe and you question and you talk to them, you'll find out what the real problem is. For her to take the chance to come in there not knowing if I had a piece of wood to knock on her head with, was not because she felt I did something to cause her dad's premature death.
Right.
It was because of her guilt. And once I probed that and I found that, and I told her, you can't be guilty if you and your dad didn't have a relationship, you didn't have a relationship. He's still an adult. He know what he felt. He should have gone and get it checked out. That has nothing to do with you.
Real. Yeah.
So don't come up in my face.
Because I know what.
Okay.
Oh Lord, Doc.
But you have to practice decorum and decency because some of them you'll curse under the ground.
I could imagine. Again, like I said, I don't know used to it, but folks, that's the end. Y'all know where to find him. The most down to earth, loving doctor there is. I see somebody that put it up in the comments earlier. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Yes, Gabrielle says one of the best in all caps, doctor. So there you have it, folks. Another Wellness Wednesday. Doc, thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you, Bahamas, for listening in.
Yes, and I'll see you soon.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Okay, take care.
Yes, sir.